Sometimes the best way to learn Unreal is to just blow something up. In this project, we're building a full-on explosive barrel, complete with physics knockback, fire particles, and a short burst of cinematic slow motion when it detonates. Unreal Engine can feel huge when you just want to make something quick and fun. That's why I love smaller builds like this. They remind you how powerful blueprints really are, even without touching complex systems or C++. By the end, you'll have barrels that explode, ignite fire, and make your whole scene come alive. Let's get into it. I'm using Unreal Engine version 5.5.4 for this project. Start by creating a new project using the first-person template. That way, you'll be able to shoot the barrels once they're ready to explode. When the project opens, make sure you turn on starter content during setup. We'll use it later for sounds, materials, and particle effects. Next, open the fab and search for fuel barrel. There's a solid free model you can grab right away. If you can't find that one, or just want to use something different, no problem. Any static mesh will work. The explosion system we're building doesn't rely on the specific model. It's all driven by physics and blueprints. Inside your project, right-click in the content browser and choose Blueprint class, then Actor. Name it BP Exploding Barrel. Open it up and start by adding a static mesh component. Rename that to Barrel. In the Components panel, drag it right on top of the default scene root to replace it. That'll make the mesh your new root component, which gives you better control over physics. Next, click Add Component and choose Radial Force. Rename it Explosion Force. This component is what pushes nearby physics objects when the barrel explodes. It's basically the heart of the whole effect. With your BP Exploding Barrel blueprint open, select the barrel mesh in the Components panel. In the Details tab, set the static mesh to your imported model. For example, the fuel barrel you downloaded from Fab. If you used a different mesh, that's totally fine. Just make sure it's assigned here so we're actually working with a visible object. Now scroll down to the Physics section and turn on Simulate Physics. Make sure Enable Gravity is checked. It should be by default. Next, select the Explosion Force component. In the Details panel, set the values like this: radius to 1000, impulse strength to 3000, fall off to RIF linear, and make sure Auto Activate is unchecked. Now head over to the event graph inside your BP Exploding Barrel. Right-click anywhere in the graph and search for Event Hit. Go ahead and add that node. This event fires whenever the barrel gets hit by something, like a projectile. From the Event Hit node, drag off and add a Spawn Emitter at Location node. For the emitter template, choose P Explosion from the starter content. Then connect the Hit Location pin from the Event Hit node into the location input on the emitter. Set the scale values to 5, 5, and 5 for now. You can always adjust them later depending on how big you want the explosion to look. Next, drag off that node and add a Play Sound at Location node. For the sound asset, use Explosion Cue from starter content, or any other explosion sound you like. From that Play Sound node, drag off again and add another Spawn Emitter at Location node. This time choose P Fire from starter content. Set the scale to 5, 5, and 5 again, or tweak it later to match your scene. And just like before, connect the Hit Location pin from the Event Hit node into the location input, so the fire appears exactly where the explosion happens. Drag the Explosion Force component from the Components panel into the graph. From it, drag off and add a Fire Impulse node. This activates the radial force when the barrel explodes. Next, drag off from that and add a Set Global Time Dilation node. Set the value to 0.3. That slows everything down for a brief moment right after the explosion. From there, add a delay node and set the duration to 0.15 seconds. After the delay, add another set global time dilation node and set it back to 1.0. That brings time back to normal speed. Finally, drag off that node and add a destroy actor node. That cleans up the barrel once the explosion finishes. In the content browser, drag a few copies of your BP exploding barrel into the level. Spread them out a little so you can really see the full effect when they go off. Once they're placed, hit play, aim at one of the barrels, and take the shot. You should see the explosion burst out with fire and sound, nearby objects flying from the blast, and that short cinematic slow motion moment before everything snaps back to normal. And heads up, if you walk or run into a barrel, you'll get launched too. That radial force affects anything with physics, including the player capsule. Thanks for joining me on this week's project. The written version is linked in the pinned comments as always, and I'll see you in the next one.